Hey everyone, it's Jamie for Independencestnola, and I'm here to talk about the Leo new moon that is happening today. As we know, when it is a new moon, that means the sun and the moon are side by side. And so this is that time of creation. We're in the void. For this Leo new moon, what's coming in really clear, I've been talking about this a little bit. I have a TikTok now, so if you TikTok, please follow me. I will follow you back. I'm figuring out all that stuff, which is kind of goes with this Leo new moon, actually. Um, and so, but I've been talking about the idea of the consciousness of fire, and not the power of fire. And this is what I'm reading this book called Return of the Avatars. And if you guys are, it's a really good series to read. It's by Jean Houston and Annalise Smitherman, I believe, and they wrote it for this time, for these we call it post-COVID times, for this new age of Aquarius. So, but anyway, they talk about the consciousness of fire, and when we have the consciousness of fire, it lights things up. It works with alchemy, right? It brings in new ideas, and they talk about then the power of fire, and the power of fire is like greed, lust, heartbreak, destruction, those kinds of things. And so this Leo new moon, I really believe, is highlighting how we go back and forth from those. We were taught about this power of fire, and now it is time for us to start thinking about and moving into the consciousness of fire. In one way, I feel like that we do that, piggybacking off of the Capricorn full moon. You know, Capricorn is how we work, and we have been in an extremely materialistic society, right? And so one source of pride for us would be how much we own, you know, how much money we make, titles, all those things. And so we are moving from that into the consciousness, right? We are moving from lower ego. I always say lower ego, but lower vibes, lower ego, right? And Leo is the sun. Leo is masculine. Leo is the ego. And so we're moving from that lower, just like burning, almost like burning desire in a, that's my cat, in a bad way. Like, we should desire things, right? At the same time, if they overtake us, then that is not good. That is not consciousness, right? That is just going for the power of something. And so the idea is to move us from the way we work. We're thinking new about how we work, how we show up for work, what does work mean? What does work entail? Not only just work at businesses, but work within ourselves. How we work on ourselves, how we work on our families, how we work on our communities, all these things, right? And so this Leo new moon is talking to us about seeing where we burn the idea of work, and where we burn that idea of ego, and where we burn with this idea of, you know, things aren't going according to my plan, and all these lower stories that were really not ours in the first place, but that aren't resonating anymore moving forward. When we go into this idea of consciousness of fire, it's like a blue flame. It's a cool flame, right? And it's like, okay, moving from the Capricorn full moon, this is how I used to work, and this is how I work now. I work more consciously. I'm more self-conscious about my day. I'm more self-conscious about where I put my energy. I'm more self-conscious about, you know, being green and being recycling and all these things. And this doesn't sound very sexy, I know, for a Leo new moon, but it's still, to me, just piggybacking off these things that are tangible, right? I could go into some very untangible things, but I just feel like right now I'm giving the opportunity to talk about something tangible. And I think it also works because of, you know, Taurus being in the North Node, and that conjunction that's coming up with Uranus this weekend, and I'll do another video for that. But for this Leo new moon, it's about this idea of really being conscious of where your pride burns in you, and where your ego burns in you, and how you can notice that, see what started that story, see where you can end that story. Notice how that story is really not yours, really to take with you. I had a client this past week, and we were talking about things that have been going on for 10 years. 10 years, you know, and honestly, there's us that bring stories with our lives that have been going on our entire lives, you know. And so if you see that's happening with you, you can let that go. It just takes this idea of being conscious of it. And once you become conscious of it, that's when you start about letting go. And it's very it's very important to become conscious about where your ego doesn't want to let things go, right? Like, no, this is how I've always done it. No, this is the way it's got to be. And just have that talk with yourself about that as well, because, you know, things can change, stories can change, circumstances change, you know, the world changes. So I just watched this video the other day, and it was a course of lions, I guess, because lions know, I mean, the AI knows that it's Leo season, so he's sending me these lion videos. But the mama lion and the cubs, the whole video was about dad lion was, you know, walking the territory, and mama had to move the cubs, and the other two in the pride had left, and so the pride had split. The pride was split. It was split apart. And so, you know, mama lion had to figure out what to do with the cubs, because if she had to go hunt, then, you know, she had to lead the cubs. It was very dramatic. But then, like, within a couple of days, the pride was back together. And I just think that was a really good, that's a really good lesson to bring into Leo season, that sometimes you've got to split that pride in order to bring it back together, right? It's okay to degenerate, you know, dissolve, and then come back together, come back in that fire, right? Let the old fire burn out, extinguish the fire. If you can feel things burning in your head and your mind, and, you know, you hear that story, listen to what that story is saying, but then also tell yourself that doesn't have to be your story anymore. This Leo new moon is wanting us to move forward. This Leo new moon wants us to take pride in who we are now. You know, it wants us to take pride in how we've changed, and that we can keep changing. And this is going to be a theme. These planets, these moons, they're really building on each other for the rest of this year, because this is a big time. Like, energy is just blasting the planet. And sometimes that means you have energy, and sometimes it doesn't. You know, yesterday with the end of, you know, that moon in Cancer, Jesus, I was so tired. But today I feel good. So that's great. So just keep track with that, you guys. You know, take pride. Like I said, take pride. It's okay to have pride. It's okay to shine, you know. It's just this idea of shining with the consciousness of fire, understanding what fire can do, understanding how it can be harmful, and living with that, and learning from that, and just getting a new respect for that idea. Okay, you guys, I think I'm going to leave it here. I could go on for a couple more minutes, but this is a big week. You know, I'll come back and talk about Uranus in conjunct Taurus in the North Node. So, and then also, for you guys that don't know, my friend Helen and I are going to do a weekly drop-in, just the overall themes for the week, nothing too intense. If you guys want more intense what's going on, you can always go and see her at the Crimson Cadaverous, and then if things come up, you know, I'll put them on my blog or talk about them here. So I hope everyone has a beautiful new moon in Leo. I hope you guys put to rest the old pride and the old ego, and really make a nest, make some new room. Use your little paws, your little lion paws, and dig up the soil and plant seeds for this new consciousness, this new fire within you that burns cool, that ignites and spreads the power of love, and comforts you first, but then also can comfort others. Okay, guys, talk to you soon. Bye.